Greetings, exiles. A new and exciting league is about to begin, which means it's time to choose a league starter. This time, it will be Shield Crush. However, instead of the usual Slayer or Juggernaut, I chose Berserker. To be honest, I wanted to try this starter in 3.26, but then the developers unexpectedly changed this Ascendancy, and we were left with only 3 good Ascendancy nodes for this build. But in 3.27, Bloodline Ascendancy was added to the game, which solved all our problems, and I started thinking about Shield Crush Berserker again. Especially considering the fact that there aren't many buffs in the patch notes that interest me, and holy skills aren't my cup of tea. Except for Holy Sweep or Divine Blast, maybe. But these are new skills, and I'm a little scared to start the league with them because I don't know what to expect from them, and I wouldn't want to start a new league with a new and cool endgame with mediocre skills. But enough yapping, let's talk about why I chose Berserker and what makes Shield Crush so good at the start of the league. The main reason I chose this Ascendancy is very simple: damage. This node gives us a lot of attack speed, which in turn gives us more DPS. And most importantly, melee skills feel much better with good attack speed, especially movement melee skills. This node also gives us damage. So does this one. And that's a lot of damage at the start of the league, which is available to us right away and without any investment. Unfortunately, the last Ascendancy point are not very inspiring for this build, but Insta-Life Leech is not so bad, and later we will replace it with one of the Bloodline Ascendancy. I talk a lot about damage, and some of my viewers probably thought that this would be a glass cannon build, but that's not the case. The build will have max attack and spell block, fortify, endurance charges, and max resistances, so our defense will be quite solid. Before I move on to the most interesting part, namely the numbers, POB, and some showcase, I would like to remind you that there are different builds with Shield Crush, so I recommend checking out this channel. There is a lot of content about Shield Crush Juggernaut, and if you are interested in a more tanky version and some delve, you will find a lot of interesting stuff there. And if you want more damage or you like min-max builds, you will find a lot of interesting videos about Shield Crush Slayer on this channel. And a little self-promotion. There is a video about Shield Crush Champion on my channel, so I recommend watching it. All the links will be in the description to this video. Anyway, POB time. I have prepared a leveling POB for you. I plan to use Shield Crush from level 8 or 10. By the way, this is a big advantage for me because I like builds where we use our main skill as early as possible and where we don't need to do a lot of respects. And this is my starting equipment. It's a tier 5 unique sword, and even on day 1 it will cost 1 or 2 chaos orbs. But despite its price, it's very powerful. This is because our main damage comes from the shield, and most weapons don't give us anything. But Prismatic Eclipse gives us global attack speed, which is very powerful. And this is my starting shield. Flat armor, life, and benchcraft. Very basic. All the rest of my gear is armor-based rare items. Nothing special or expensive. Well, except for 6 links. But honestly, in today's PoE reality, rare body armor with 6 links is no longer something premium. And with these items, we have almost 2.5 million damage. Not bad for starter gear. As for defense, it looks like this. Effective hit pool is quite high because we have a 65% chance to block attacks and spells. Physical max hit is okay for day 1 or 2. But the max elemental hit is not very high, and to be honest, I would like to improve it. But with block, we won't have any serious problems with survivability, because let's not forget that this is starter gear. And of course, this is without guard skill and with molten shell numbers going up. And you can always make small adjustments for more defense. DPS will be less, of course, but the defense will improve significantly. So this build has some flexibility and can be adjusted to suit your playstyle. Before making this video, I did a small test SSF run. And even in the SSF League with humble gear, the build feels good. Gameplay with a quest boss fight. and some random gameplay from the SSF run. But the most interesting part begins when we buy 2 of these unique items. I want to clarify right away that the build works without these unique items, but that should be your number 1 priority when upgrading your equipment. On day 1, these are quite expensive purchases, but on day 2, their price will be 2 or even 3 times cheaper. It is better to save your currency and buy them a little later. But if you find a lucky drop on day 1, it will be a good investment because our DPS will be like this. Quite a significant boost. As for defense, our max hit has increased, but unfortunately, our effective hit pool has decreased. This is because Emperor's Vigilance gives us glancing blows, which is not the best keystone. As I said earlier, damage is not a problem for this build, and with minimal investment, our DPS will be solid, so we will spend our currency on upgrading defense. And most likely, in the endgame, I will just buy this belt and solve all my defense problems. But if we want to push our damage more, then these are our next purchases: Foulborn version of Emperor's Vigilance and Admiral's Arrogance with +3 to all melee skills. With these items, our DPS will be almost 20 million. But enough glazing, because I have no intention of selling you this build. I just want to talk about this build and its strengths and weaknesses. As for the drawbacks, we are a melee skill and our AoE is not very good. It's certainly not heavy strike, but still, you shouldn't expect that by pressing a button you will destroy all the monsters on the screen and beyond. Although in the endgame, our AoE can be solid. Something like that. But again, this is not what you will have at the beginning of the league. Pinnacle bosses fight. Like most melee skills, in order to deal damage, we need to be close to the boss, so such battles are not very easy if you are a beginner. But again, we have solid damage, and in most cases it can compensate for the lack of skill. And lastly, defense. When we switch to the crit version with Emperor's Vigilance, we lose a lot of effective hit pool, which makes our survivability a little worse. It's enough for tier 16 and 16.5 maps, but if you want to run more difficult content, you'll have to pause a little and save up currency for defense. Because as I said earlier, this build has a lot of free damage, but you will need to invest some currency to improve your defense. And the last 2 things I would like to say. As always, I am not selling my build, I am just showing my starter. But maybe someone will take the bait. Also, at the time of making this video, I don't know all the nodes for a new Reliquarian Ascendancy class. And there is a small chance that if there is something really interesting for me there, I may change my league starter. But in any case, 0 to Hero with Berserker Shield Crush will be on my channel, eventually. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. As always, I would be very grateful for your likes and subscriptions. Bye everyone, and see you in the new league.